Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gordy here. As I had mentioned in some of my earlier videos, I'm currently in the process of building the 1954 Topps baseball set. I'm a vintage baseball collector, and this is my first vintage set that I'm actually trying to build from scratch. So I wanted to kind of share a little bit of my journey, some of the things that I've learned. If you're interested in building a vintage baseball card set, some of the different types of lessons I've learned in terms of how to source for the cards, how to get the best deals, what to do and what not to do in terms of acquiring your complete set. I also want to, in this video, break down why I'm specifically targeting the 1954 Topps baseball set. I'll be giving some history, some background, some fun facts about the set. My plan is in the future to be breaking down a couple of the different legendary Topps baseball sets, as well as some of just the older pre-war baseball card sets that are important in the history of the game. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to give me a like or subscribe to these videos so you can check out more of it. But yeah, there's a ton of history within the 1954 Topps baseball set. And as I mentioned also, I've been building it for over a year now. And so I've definitely made some mistakes, and I want to share some of those mistakes here so that you guys don't make that same mistake if you start thinking about building it. But basically, a lot of what my process was early on was buying cards one at a time. I have a spreadsheet that I can probably post here in a picture that shows kind of a breakdown of what card I bought, what condition it's in, how much I bought it for, where I bought it from, the number card in the set. So those are all things to help me kind of keep track of it. The thing that I found, obviously, is that you can get better deals on 1954 Topps specifically. And if you guys aren't familiar with what they look like, check them out here. This is what some of the commons look like. I'll show some of these. But so these commons will run roughly about $5 a card when you're buying one at a time, if you want to get them in pretty nice shape, like VG to VGX. If you want to get them for under $5 a card, you got to be thinking about how can I buy these cards in bulk. So I've actually found through a lot of my sourcing, people just aren't really familiar with Facebook as a marketplace for buying and selling collectibles. A lot of people go to eBay, but I've found that if you can join a really good Facebook group with, quality people that aren't going to scam you, there's a lot of really good deals to be had because you're going to save money on taxes. You're going to save money on shipping fees oftentimes. And the process to me has been a lot less seamless. So I'm in a couple of different vintage baseball collector groups on Facebook, and I've been having a blast with it. And I started buying lots of cards off of these collectors sometimes at $2, $3 a card. So if I bought a lot for 100 cards and say I have 100 common cards right here that I'm about to go through today. And if I bought a lot of 100 cards for about $250, that comes out to $2.50 a card. I might only need 40 of these cards based on how close I am to my set, but I can sell those other 60 cards sometimes for $5 or $6 a pop, wherever else I want to try to do it, on eBay or if I go to a card show and things like that. So the card flipping process actually pays for itself in the long run. So a lot of this set I've been able to get great deals on because of that process. So I encourage you, if you're thinking about building a set, to try to buy in bulk, in the beginning at least. Obviously, as you get a little bit further along and you have only the Hall of Famers left, it's going to get more expensive, and obviously the Hall of Fame and All-Star cards are not going to be put in basic commons lots. I think that there's a big opportunity gap in the hobby right now that if you're able to use technology to your advantage, you can get better deals. So I've found a couple of awkward conversations when I'm at card shows and I'm trying to buy, a couple of these commons for, say, $3 to $4, and the guy's sitting there looking at me that he wants $10 to $12 a common. It's just not going to happen. That's something that I've learned to try to focus on Facebook and buying in lots as opposed to card shows and buying individually on eBay. I'm currently trying to organize my set in putting it in numerical order on the back. So as you can see, each card numbered on the back 1 to 250. The 1954 Topps set is numbered 1 to 250. The number 1 and the number 250 card are considered the bookend cards of Ted Williams. Pretty interesting fact about this is that during that time, Bowman and Topps were the two big players in baseball cards. Bowman was trying to get the exclusive rights to Ted Williams, and Topps was able to come in over the top and basically get to market their product having two Ted Williams cards in it, number 1 and 250. Now, as I had mentioned, I'm building this set and I'm putting them in numerical order, 1 to 250. A lot of the 50s kids, that's what they did. When they bought these 5-cent packs, they tried to put them in numerical order, 1 to 250. What this caused was the number 1 card in the deck, number 1 Ted Williams, always being beat up because they would basically put them in rubber bands their full stack of cards. And so that first card on the set was Ted Williams, and it was always beat to crap. I actually have a Ted Williams that I'll show here. This is my Ted Williams. It's not in great shape, but you can see that the corners are a little beat up. The back's totally fine. But this is the number 1 Ted Williams. I actually am still waiting on trying to find the number 250. The number 250 actually goes for a little bit of a premium. So it's kind of a cool fact. And when you are looking in terms of the conditions of the cards, I try to get all my Hall of Famers and somewhere in the VG shape. A lot of these cards go for quite a bit amount of money. The number 1 Ted Williams you could get raw for around 100 to 150 bucks, and then graded typically is around 200. The number 250 you can get graded for anywhere from like 275 to 375 in a low grade. Another really interesting fact about 1954 Topps baseball is that it features 20 Hall of Fame players in the set. However, you will not find Mickey Mantle in the set. Bowman was able to sign the exclusive rights to Mickey Mantle in 1954. So you will not find a Topps Mickey Mantle card in 1954 or 1955. The Mick actually does not make a return to Topps until 1956, which is also an iconic set, if you can recall. It's horizontal and it features an awesome action shot of the player and face shot very similar to 1954 Topps. So really cool. It's very interesting for the Mickey Mantle collectors. The only 54 Mickey Mantle card is in Bowman. It is not in the Topps set. Another factor of the 1954 Topps that makes it so special and great to collect is that it features some of the best Hall of Fame rookies of all time. It has Hank Aaron, Tommy Lasorda, Al Kaline. It also features Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks' rookie card. I almost forgot him. Can't forget Ernie Banks. So this set, to me, has some of the best Hall of Fame star power of all time and some of the most undervalued Hall of Famer rookie cards of all time. I mean, if you look at a early Mickey Mantle card in terms of value and compare it to a rookie card of Hank Aaron, it's crazy the difference. An SGC grade 1 to 2 grade Hank Aaron rookie will go around $2,000. I mean, if you're a vintage baseball card collector, you know that the Mickey Mantle rookies sometimes go north of 30, 40K in really low grade condition. To me, Hank Aaron obviously has better offensive stats. He doesn't carry the same name brand power as Mickey Mantle, but he's still an extremely important player in the history of the game, and honestly, probably the greatest hitter. So it's pretty interesting to see how much value I think there still is to run in terms of Hank Aaron and his rookie. And then when you see the rest of the set, it's just super collectible. It features 20 Hall of Fame players, guys like Whitey Ford, Warren Spahn, Jackie Robinson, Willie Mays, as I had mentioned, Ernie Banks, Hank Aaron, Tommy Lasorda, Al Kaline, Eddie Matthews. I mean, the list goes on. So it's a really cool set in that you're going to recognize a number of the Hall of Fame players in there. And in terms from an investment perspective, I think there's a ton of upside still to go in the 1954 Topps set. So it has a couple of other interesting quirks and smaller features that I thought were really cool. As you're building the set, you'll actually notice that I have it here. 1954 Topps is one of the first sets that actually has 2 players. This is the first Topps card that has 2 players on it. Ed and John O'Brien. They're actually twins that played in the MLB at the same time. It's card number 139, and this card will go for a premium as opposed to other quote-unquote commons from the 1954 Topps set, just because of its novelty and collectability with collectors. So if you're out there building the set and you come across an O'Brien card in a lot, make sure to scoop it up and know that you can get more than just a couple of bucks for it. That's basically wrapping up my 1954 Topps recap. If you like these types of videos, I'm going to be doing more in terms of the historical relevance of certain Topps sets and baseball card sets from the pre-war era. I'm a baseball history nerd, as you can tell. I love rocking anything within vintage. It's just something that I've always been interested in since I was a little kid. So yeah, if you're interested in starting to build a set, leave a comment below. Let me know what you're thinking of building. And if there's any way that I can help out, I'd love to. Thanks so much, guys.